Roger's surname meaning and history, presented by coadb.com, where we offer affordable genealogy research. Surname meaning: it is an English patronymic surname meaning the son of Roger, with Roger being a personal masculine given name composed of the ancient Germanic elements hrōd, meaning renown, and ger, meaning spear or lance. The name was introduced into England by the Normans in the form Rogier. It reinforced the similar existing pre-7th century Anglo-Saxon name Hrothgar. Early bearers included Adam, son of Rogeri, in Lincolnshire in 1273, Robert, son of Rogeri, in Norfolk, England in 1273, William Roger was documented in Sussex, England in 1296, Henry Rogers in Worcestershire in 1327, Walter Rogero in Somerset, England in 1327, and William Roger was documented in Scotland in 1468. Early settlers to the New World included George Rogers, who arrived in Virginia in 1619 aboard the Bonanova. Bryan Rogers came to Virginia in 1621 aboard the Elizabeth. Edward Rogers came to Virginia in 1623 aboard the Anne, and Francis Rogers came to Maryland in 1634 aboard the Ark and Dove. Noble titles held: the Rogers Baronetcy of Wisdom in the county of Devon was a title created in the Baronetage of England in 1699 for John Rogers, a merchant and member of Parliament for Plymouth. He was the only son of John Rogers, seen here, an English preacher and physician, who was in turn the son of Nehemiah Rogers, born 1594, a Church of England clergyman. And here we see a list of the Rogers Baronets of Wisdom all the way through the 8th Baronet, who died in 1889. The 2nd Baronet and the 3rd Baronet, both named Sir John Rogers, represented Plymouth in Parliament, and the 4th Baronet, Sir Frederick Rogers, was a captain in the Royal Navy. Sir Frederick Rogers, the 8th Baronet, a civil servant who helped found The Guardian, was elevated to the peerage as Baron Blanchford in 1871. Here we see the family seat of Blanchford in Cornwood in County Devonshire, England. Rogers landed gentry families included Rogers of Dowdeswell in County Gloucester, England. And it looks like two members of this family were William Rogers, who died in 1734. He was a master in the High Court of Chancery. And one of his descendants, Edward Rogers, born 1741. There was also Roger of Hadlow Castle in County Kent. They were represented in the 19th century by Robert Roger, Esquire. He was a Justice of the Peace for counties Kent and Lanark and High Sheriff of Kent. There was also Rogers of the Home and Stanage Park in County Radnor in Wales. And it was represented in the 19th century by Charles Coltman Rogers. Rogers of Penrose in County Cornwall, England, represented in the 19th century by John Jope Rogers, Justice of the Peace, Deputy Lieutenant, and a Member of Parliament for Helston. Rogers of Rainscombe in County Wiltshire, England. One member of this family was Francis James Newman Rogers, born 1791, seen here as a boy. He was an English barrister, judge, legal author, deputy judge advocate general, and the son of Reverend James Rogers of Rainscombe. There's also Rogers of River Hill in County Kent, England, represented in the 19th century by John Thornton Rogers, who was, I believe, or there was one member of the family, John Rogers, born 1807, an English barrister, known as a naturalist, particularly interested in orchids, and a gardener. Rogers of Yarlington in County Somerset, England, represented in the 19th century by Thomas Ingleby Rogers. This family was originally from Bristol. They were prominent merchants in that place in the 16th century. Notables included Sir Edward Rogers, born around the year 1498, an English gentleman who served as an officer in state in various capacities during the Tudor period, and he rose to become comptroller and vice chamberlain of the household to Queen Elizabeth I. John Rogers, born around 1505, was an English clergyman, Bible translator, and commentator. He guided the development of the Matthew Bible in vernacular English during the reign of King Henry VIII, and was the first English Protestant executed as a heretic under Queen Mary I. Richard Rogers, born around the year 1550, was an English clergyman, nonconformist, and vicar of Wethersfield in Essex. Woodes Rogers, who died in 1732, was an English sea captain, privateer, slave trader, and the first royal governor of the Bahamas. He is known as the captain of the vessel that rescued marooned Alexander Selkirk, whose plight is generally believed to have inspired Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. John Rogers, born 1772, was a United States senior naval officer who served under 6 presidents for nearly 4 decades. His service took him through many military operations in the Quasi-War with France, both Barbary Wars in North Africa, and the War of 1812 with Britain. Charles Rogers, born 1711, was an English customs official known as an art collector. He also wrote on drawings and became a Fellow of the Royal Society. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Rogers, born 1731, was an American colonial frontiersman. He served in the British Army during the French and Indian War and the American Revolution. Samuel Rogers, born 1763, a poet, banker, and art connoisseur. And lastly, Timothy Rogers, born 1658, was an English nonconformist minister who was known as an author on the topic of depression. And if you enjoyed this video, please visit us at coadb.com, where we offer affordable genealogy research. Link in the description. Thank you very much.